Yujiro,
Yeah.
if someone doesn't answer, do you want to just do an interview together?
Me and so
Me and you.
you and okay, sure, 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 sure.
Is that cool?
It's gonna be interesting, bro. Yeah, I can do it.
All right. And then maybe like just 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, sure. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be it's gonna be funny though. Like we're supposed to have an interview with Summer. Someone doesn't show up, then we
All right. So, how'd you find Kendama originally?
oh my gosh, oh my well like cause like I'm from Hiroshima, which Kendama was born, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was in a kind of kindergarten, we had a class for kendama to build like people's focus. So it was a class.
So, what was Kendama like in Japan when you were young? Like everybody knew about it, right?
True, yeah.
And Hiroshima was the birthplace of Kendama. Was it more popular in Hiroshima?
I believe so. Because like in my opinion, I feel more than 90% of people from Hiroshima know kendama. What a kendama is.
What do they know about it? What's Kendama to most people?
It's like a basic like traditional Japanese toy.
Yeah.
So, and like, I'm pretty much sure they have played kendama once, like making a big cup, small cup, base cup. So they know how to play it.
Or traditionally, like even elderly Japanese people know kendama.
Yep.
And what do they know it as? Just a traditional Japanese toy, cultural
Mm-hmm.
type thing?
Like elderly people, they're saying like, oh, kendama was a huge toy when they are young, like when they are kid. So instead playing video game, they play kendama a lot. They told me.
Mm. But okay, I feel like in America, I mean the yo-yo isn't very American. Like it was just kind of like a toy that blew up, like the Rubik's Cube, kind of like not like a hack, but just like a commercialized thing that like most
Yeah.
people are like, oh yeah, you walk the dog, and then yeah, there's people who go crazy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But this feels like kendama to people was like a Japanese traditional. I like when I run into um like Mexicans, they bring up Bolero, and it
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
to them like, oh, this is a Mexican toy. Um, what do they think when they see people playing kendama how it's played now with taps and everything?
Damn. I feel they are thinking different toy, which they
Okay.
know. Cause like even me, I used to play JK a lot, like basic stuff like joystick, round the wall, something like that. But when I see Keith Matsumura, the legend, and Chris Bosch 2014, they are doing tapping, like flipping, juggling. Even me, I was like, damn, it's a different style of kendama what I know. So I'm pretty much sure like people in general, if they see people are doing kendama with tapping, juggling, there's like what's going on with kendama, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't like fathom, but it basically is like if America had like this cultural toy, and then all of a sudden it's been being played so differently. Because like I know yo-yo isn't relatable, but like yeah, people can imagine, oh, you do cooler and cooler tricks. But I feel like kendama, maybe I'm wrong, but kendama to most Japanese people is just like, is it most just moshikame, just cups?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do
Yep.
like is it traditionally? Do you do lighthouse? Do you do string things?
No, no.
Okay.
When I was in a class, how to like learning how to play kendama, it was like more making base cup or like base cup and a big cup, like something like that. We had never do like done juggling, flipping, string stuff.
So what's
So
the
I feel
point
like
of playing when you learn in kindergarten? What was
Or
the
just like a building focus on something.
okay?
Yeah. To build like I think like make like people more focus on something, one particular stuff, and the kendama was best stuff to do it.
Okay.
Because like it's fun to make a base cup, big cup. It's hard, like when I try to spike first. So people like trying to be focused to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that.
But in the traditional sense, nobody wanted to try a bird or like a trade or something.
I mean, for the bar, they try to do it, but it's kind of hard to make it.
Yeah.
So
It's
before
just
they make it, they quit. Instead, they just do easy trick, cause like it's fun to make it, like feeling good. Then like we separate the people who are like competing for the playing kendama or playing just for fun.
okay. So what was that like? What was that first introduction to you when you first, well, how did you first run into competition or for fun, Kendama?
I was playing kendama for the first. Then my teacher introduced me. There was a tournament for the like kids, like under 6 years old for the kindergarten student.
Yeah.
So I went to the tournament. Then I got the lucky. I won the tournament. It was from the trick was like from I don't know big cup to spike. So we play like let's say big cup 5 times and the small cup, base cup, candle, spike. Then we have 25 point total. Then the winner was whoever got the highest point. So I won. Then I was like, oh, competition is kind of fun. So I started playing as a competitor.
Were you the best in your class? Did you practice a lot?
Yeah, I believe so. I
So what made
was,
what made you like to do it when you were that young, when you were 6?
well, say that again.
Well, what made you like want to how'd you get good when you're young? What made you want to get good?
Um,
I guess you were still young, right?
I I don't know. It was kind of fun to play it. Like personally, I like playing more like dodgeball, like or baseball, like sports. But kendama was new. Then since I was the best in the class, I was feeling good to play kendama with my friends. So I was like, oh, I take this like fun toy.
Yeah. And so you won that competition. And what was it like? It was like a race to 25 points?
No, it was like a kind of, how should I explain it? Not lacing, but it was like more percentage, how many times like player can make the trick. Like JK style.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Um, so then when were you first introduced to this new style of kendama, which I guess you would describe as like kendama for fun or like a more
Yeah.
creative, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. Cause it's a like good question. I don't even know how I start being like into like playing kendama, but when I realize it, I already play it with like having a fun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess when were you introduced to Keith Matsumura and Chris Bosch?
Yep.
When was that?
It was a 2013, 1 year before the first KWC.
Mm. And the difference between JKA and KWC is that JKA has been around for a while. It's more traditional. Than KWC took the element of the new style of kendama.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It was a 2013 JKA had the kind of international tournament before the KWC, but tournament was more like JKA style, the basic style. Then Keith Matsumura. Who was there? Oh, the Rod Dama.
Yeah.
They are there from like Canada and the USA. Then
At
I met
JKA?
them. Yeah, at the JKA. Then I feel like it was a 2013 Tamotsu Kubota, who is a
The most.
former and like a president of a global Kendama network. He started saying, "Oh, we're gonna have the KWC for the 2014."
Hmm.
Then I had no idea what a KWC what is. But since I'm from Hiroshima, which KWC like happened, so my friend introduced me. Would you want to join KWC? I was like, sure. Then I met a bunch of like people like Chris Bosch, Bonds Atron, like the legend player, but no idea how to be a good at the KWC because it's different style which I played before. So I
Yeah.
was like more having a fun. But I got the lucky again. I made a final and I also made a ninth place at the KWC 2014. Yeah, but that time I had no idea how to juggling, flipping. Yeah. So the first player, I still remember the first player who taught me how to juggling was Chris Bosch.
Okay. Um, what place did you wait? 2013 was the first KDC or 2014?
2014.
Okay, and you came in ninth.
Yeah.
So you were good at the traditional style of kendama, but the first KWC 2014, it was already a brand new style with like spacewalks and handle stalls. So obviously, if you got ninth, you started practicing that style. But when did you start practicing that different style?
Um, well, it was like April when the trick of KWC came up, but still like along the time 2014, they still had the like kind of traditional trick like around the galaxy, like a
Yeah,
bar, like something like that. So I was good at that, like making a trick. So I practiced a lot, but it was like more kind of similar to traditional trick. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So different style of competition, but like the trick was kind of same. So that's why like I got ninth place, I think.
So when you saw the tricks in 2014 in April, were you blown away with the type of tricks, or have you seen those tricks before?
Yeah, I have, but like no juggling style like that.
So
Never.
where'd you see those tricks before?
When?
Yeah, like where, like, because I imagine that the traditional style in Japan, if it's, I guess it's not just Moshikame, but it's very
Yeah,
Moshikame, but a spacewalk
right.
is something so new, like where did you get introduced to that? YouTube?
Well, Spacewalk was kind of one of the the traditional one, but
Okay.
yet obviously YouTube was a huge, and a long time Facebook, Instagram just started being
Yeah.
popular. Yeah, I learned many tricks from Instagram along the
Yeah.
time, and yeah, also from my friends.
Okay. So I feel like maybe there's kind of a spectrum where like elderly Japanese people would say like, oh, it's just Moshikame. And then there was like a bigger group of Japanese that know spacewalk and kind of more difficult tricks in airplane. And then obviously now there's a whole bigger group that knows the entire different world of kendama. Does that sound right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, how much did you practice? How old were you in KWC 2014?
It was 13.
You were 13 years old. And so you were playing from 6 to 13 all the time, or did you take a break?
I didn't take a break, so I play practice all the time. Cause like for JK, there was a big like huge youth tournament which
Okay.
cooperate with Japanese government.
Okay.
So I wanted to win the tournament, so I practice a lot.
Uh,
Yeah, but I took a break when I was in high school.
okay. Okay. After KWC 2014, you took a
Yeah,
break. So
2016, something like that. Yeah.
can you explain the difference between JKA style and KWC style?
The difference, obviously the trick and the
Yeah,
vibes is also different.
yeah,
Cause like a JKA, like it since the trick was easier than KWC, no one missed the trick
more
when we like,
consistent.
yeah, so yeah, true. So it was like more nervous and like I don't know. But like KWC, like we have a time, like we can miss a trick, as long as we make the trick within a 3 minutes. So
Yeah, I
it's a
feel like it
different.
must have been a big surprise for you and Kendama players to go from JKA that's very like it's Japanese and it's like the string can't touch the ground and I don't know the words to describe it, but like super.
Yeah,
And then you see like Rod and Bonds with like a hair and dreads do like this crazy, the stall and big shoes. Was it
yeah,
like a
yeah.
surprise? Like it's like what the heck is going on here?
It was like, oh, what's happened with Kendama tournament? You know what I mean?
Yeah, two different worlds.
Two different, completely different.
Yeah,
Like even I don't know how should I explain, but like different vibes, obviously. KWC is like more fun stuff,
yeah,
like X game. There's
yeah,
a big G-Shock like clock right next to me and the big screen
yeah,
that's so loud. But like GK is so quiet, more
yeah.
focused. So it was totally different. I
It's
like both of style, but
yeah.
obviously totally different from each other.
It's such a cool thing for Japanese and um not only Americans but Europeans like the West to combine and like learn about each other's cultures through kendama because it's just like it's so cool that
Ritual, yeah, definitely. I feel like KWC make kendama more popular all over the world. You know what I
okay
mean?
yeah. So with that new wave of kendama after KWC 2014 you took a break in high school
Yeah.
and then did you start grinding again? Did you find it again and start playing again?
I mean, I was being competitive until 2016. So I
Oh,
made a final 3 times in a row, 2014, 15, 16.
in KWC?
Then yeah. Then I took a break because like I used to play sports also. Then like being a club activity for the high school in Japan is huge stuff. It's so busy. I
Yeah,
took a play break, but still I play just a for fun instead
yeah,
of being competitor. Still I played it, but like not as much as I used to. Then after graduate high school, I moved to the US. Then right now I met Gino at the same school, university. Then Gino always texts me every weekend, hey, welcome to my house, like drinking Frank Kendama. I was like, yeah, why not?
some days you just have to decline the FaceTime. Like, hey, I'm too busy. No, I'm just joking. Knows the
You know
best.
what? When I told like Isaac wanna have an interview with me or like Japanese player, like obviously then I said I was gonna be translator. Gino was, oh come over my place. You can have an interview in my place. I love Isaac so much. He told me that.
Gino's the best, dude. It's so awesome
He's
that you're at school with him. Like,
yeah.
he's a nice
Yeah.
dude.
I was gonna play I moved to the US 2020 spring, like January for the
Yeah.
school. But
Yikes.
around time, it was Kobe, so I
Yeah.
couldn't make a Neko like any Kendama event. I was kind of shocked because like the one of the reason why I moved to US also playing Kendama, different country. But it was Kobe, I couldn't make it. But it was 2021. I met the one. Well, my friend introduced me one guy who play Kendama in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Then he posted on Instagram, oh, we are gonna have a kendama jamming like this weekend. All kendama player in Minnesota should come. So I went to there, met Gino and 608, some
Yeah.
player, some player from 608. So it was the best weekend.
Okay. Well, it's really, really crazy. 608 is one of the best crews. I mean, they have Gino, they used to have Oliver, they have Elliot, they have Jay, right?
Yep.
So many good players. So you were continually playing, and then you when you moved to America, you're like, I'm excited to play in America.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Especially like having a friend who play kendama so well is one of the best way to practice with, to play kendama with. So I'm so glad to having a Gino with me around here. Now I'm playing kendama a lot. Then I went to Nashville for BATV. It
Yeah.
makes me more playing kendama more. So
Yeah.
I'm playing a lot right now. I'm coming back to playing kendama.
So I want to ask you about like Japanese culture because I'm really interested in it, especially with me finding Kendama, but even originally I really really interested in Japan. Um what do you guys like I feel like when I see the high receipts crew, like Nobu with like the long hair and they're kind of like street and skateboard style, they seem like rebellious
Oh,
teenagers.
the Nobu is like a MC for the
Nobu, the guy on the kid on
430.
Kendama
430.
USA.
Oh, okay, yeah, Nobunori. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like, do parents look down on playing this toy instead of like going to school, or are they supportive of a hobby like this?
Um, I mean, it's really depends on the family, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like they are more supportive,
Okay.
especially when they're like kids are like so good, like Nobu, Yasu, something like that.
Yeah. That's so interesting because I've heard some things, and just as an American, I mean, I don't even know if they're right, but just how Japanese people will, on the train ride back, even adults will be playing video games, right? Like it's a very like hobby. Is that true?
Yep, it is.
And then I've also heard that a lot of people work a ton. It,
Oh, yes. A
like
lot.
13-hour days. It's
It
working
was one of the huge problem in Japanese society right now. Like,
still to this day.
yeah, I feel like company or like organization, they try to have a short time of working, like working time. But still, I'm here like teacher is working more than 10 hours per day. That's what I hear from my friend. I was like, damn, it's too much.
Yeah. Is that more like a corporate governmental like business type thing that's happening, or is it just in general, like for example Sue, the owner of Sue Lab, is he also working that much because it's the culture?
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely because of the culture.
Okay.
Well, like it's kind of interesting because like in Japanese culture, people are singing if the one person working a lot, we feel, oh, he's like working so hard, which is like he's a nice guy. Oh, we can hire him, like something like that. But in here, I feel like it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily comparable to like if you work 40 hours a week, it's okay. Obviously, you look at people who make a lot of money as like a success factor,
Because I know like some people in Japan, they stay over at their company or like organization because they are
Yeah.
so busy. I was like, oh, I don't want to do in the future.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the person too. Like some people
Oh,
really
true.
respect the people in Manhattan that are working in Wall Street and they are working 14 hours a day. But then a lot of people, if you're a type of person that respects like just chilling, Alex Smith, the head of Terra, just like I mean, not to say that he works a lot or doesn't work a lot,
Hmm.
but he just has his own vibe that I love, and like he's just doing his own thing, like he's just happy with how he is. And my uncle's like that too. And maybe I get that impression because he reminds me of my uncle, where it's just like I'm not going to work more just because I get pressured to work more, you know, like I'm going to work as much as
Yeah.
I feel like I should work. Um, so maybe in America, yeah, I guess it's just a bit different. Um, what do the Japanese Kendama community, what do they think of America and Americans, especially
About
Kendama?
like all
Like,
the Americans Kendama player.
yeah,
Good question. Me personally, I don't know about what Nobu Yasu, like the top player, like Takuya, what they are thinking about like
yeah,
player, Kendama
yeah,
player in the US. But my like personally, I feel Kendama player in the US are like more, I don't know, it's a really good question.
what do you think? Just be honest.
It's like more creative for the trick style.
Yeah,
Like every time when I see the new trick, it's from different country, you know. In Japan, we have such a many like good top player like Takuya, Yasu,
yeah,
Nobu. They make a like a new trick as well, but like most of the new trick is from the US, like topping. I don't know who made the top the first, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Juggling.
right.
So
I mean, obviously, everywhere around the world, I feel like there's kind of two different groups of Kendama players. Like the one group, it's like you're taking the concepts that are already known and you're pushing it, you know? And
yep.
not to say the Gallaghers aren't creative, but for the most part, they're respected because they push stilts and they push the concepts already known to the craziest level. And then there's like more um ingenuity of players. I
Mm,
won't say creativity because they're both creative, but like there's players who just create new concepts. I mean, I don't know how much you know of Soma, but like Franta or like Bonds, you know, like that's I feel like a different group. And I think most Japanese players maybe are more on the group of like just pushing Kendama to its limits with concepts that are already known.
I agree with that.
But then
I
again,
I
Soma or not, yeah, Soma and Yasu are doing really creative things too.
Yeah, like Yasu was doing kendama with dancing. When I
Yeah.
saw the first time, I was like, wow, new
Yeah.
style of kendama is coming right now.
Yeah. That's really, really fascinating. Uh, I feel like Americans compared to Europeans are more competitive. Like, and I was talking about this with Tom this morning, how Europeans are more chill at events in general.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's people grinding to win, but then in America, I feel like there's more people who are like sweating and like they really want to win.
Mm,
Um, and Japanese, I feel, are pretty competitive as well.
yeah, I think so. I agree with that.
Yeah, I see more emotion out of Japanese players. Like a
You
lot
say
of
emotion?
emotion. I see tears a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dedication and giving it your all. You know, like Madi winning that battle, Nobu losing to Nick freestyle, Soma winning. Like, not to say that Americans don't cry when they win, but like Japanese, they fucking do it. You know, like
Yeah, because like I feel like, as we discussed it, like competition is like tournament is huge, like huge part of playing kendama. That's why like Japanese people playing kendama more, like four, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So they practice a lot to win the tournament. That's why they put more emotion playing
yeah.
kendama for the tournament, I feel.
Have you followed a lot of the high receipts videos? Do you watch those?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I feel like they're laughing and having fun, and they are. You know, they're being creative and doing cool tricks, and the cameras are really sick. But like to be at that level that Yasu and Nobu are at, it takes so much dedication and hard work and frustration. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially Takia too. Like
Oh yeah.
the work that he puts in and the dedication that he has, you can't be that level without like a grit, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. It's really fascinating. And I saw this documentary about Yasu and Sinosuke
Shinosuke, yep.
Sinosuke with their dads. Have you seen that documentary?
No, actually not.
Really, really interesting, especially for people who want to learn about Japanese culture. It's just Sinosuke, Yasu, with their two dads talking for an hour
Is
about,
it like on YouTube or
yeah, on YouTube. Yeah,
okay? I'm gonna watch it like later night.
yeah. It's so fascinating, to hear their dads talk. For anyone who's fascinated of Japanese culture, like I highly recommend it. But also, it's so cool to see these two.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I just wonder how much they practice per day,
I think it's a lot.
especially like for Takuya. Like I was in KWC 2022 when Takuya won, like last year.
Yeah,
I saw his performance. It was insane. Like
yeah. He
it
was
looks
so
like
confident.
speed trick. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
made
dude,
a
like it was
old
double
trick. I was like,
speed.
wait, they like he make like a six stop, like six flipping, like looks like easily. I was
Yeah,
like, damn. So I just wonder how much he practiced for KWC 2022.
yeah. And I'm so excited for 2023 too.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna go there
You are?
hopefully with Gino. Yeah. I wanna make a final again, so I'm gonna practice a lot this time.
Do you have your KWC runs on YouTube?
Yep,
Can we watch one?
sure. It was like a 2014, might be the nice.
This one?
Yep. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, look at
so
me.
so cute. Oh my God, you're so young.
Yeah, it was when I was 13. I had no idea. I used a Ozola.
You look nervous.
I wasn't like smiling, but
You're like, I'm ready to
honest, no, my hand was shaking.
go. The knee brace.
Yeah, yeah, like Galaxy, it was a basic, well, traditional trick for JK and like Bard.
You're honed, dude.
Wow.
Nah, it's so hard to do in that little kendama.
True. And look like the size of Kendama looks
Mhm.
so small compared to currently Kendama.
And you can tell how difficult these tricks are by the
Yeah.
crowd reaction. Everyone's like, wow, because it's hard to tell because unfortunately these have progressed.
Yeah, like especially around this time, even this trick was new for us. So
It was.
then for the around the Denmark,
Yeah.
you oh my gosh, it was like my like it was the first time to make a like flipping.
Okay.
So
Flipping, yeah. Yeah. Ron Denmark, oh, I'm so happy.
oh my
Down.
god.
Yeah.
Spacewalk stuff, yeah.
Is it
I
too?
was like, oh
Oh, the stunt? You're holding it like that's so
yeah, like because like I had no idea how to make the trick, so I did it with my own knowledge.
Dude, it works, like,
True. Then like at this tournament, Bonds and the Chris Bosch and the Keith Matsumura from the US, they taught me how to play new style of kendama, how to hold it. So
were they impressed by you?
I hope, yeah, I hope so. But I talked with Bond like at Nashville. He still remember about me, so I was glad. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. It was so nervous. That's why I'm saying like how Takuya made like such a bunch of trick on the stage last year.
What kind of memories does that bring back watching that?
It was obviously was one of the most like it was fun tournament, the most excited tournament. The tournament makes me like made my life change, like change my life, obviously. Yeah, a lot. It blew me like a lot of stuff about Kendama.
Yeah. Who were your biggest influences before that KWC? Who'd you look up to the most for Kendama?
On There's a one guy, his name is Yuta Satoda, Kotaro Shimozawa, Shuhei Telda. They used to play for JKA and he's from Hiroshima. Like they're like 5 years older than me. And
Okay.
their trick, they made a trick looks like easy, so they're like kind of superstar for me.
How do you spell the name?
Yuta Satoda, YutaSatoda. He made a like a 5 at the KWC 2014.
Okay. Um, and then after KWC, after you met Bonds and some American players, were they influential to you? Did you look up to them?
Yep.
I imagine so. Was there a specific player that you really looked up to?
I still remember it was a 2016 when Bryson Lee won the KWC. It was insane for me at the time. You wanna see it? I still remember, and I and my homie, we always talking about how the tournament was like crazy, how his running was crazy for us.
Why was it crazy? Was it the first 2016 the first time Konami took a big step into the new gen realm?
100%. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He
Yeah,
made a like I feel like 2014, 2015, like Bonds and Wyatt, they did a good job for their KWC. Then they won the tournament. They became like world champion. Still, I was impressed from them. But Bryson Lee made me. I was like, okay, I see now. Like it's a new style kendama, tapping, and even like when Nick Gallagher won the tournament, it was 2018.
yeah,
Still, I remember.
yeah. The new gen stuff is
Yep,
that I 2016 I think is really where if you just watch the KWC tricks, the jump from 2015 to 2016,
so different.
so different. Yeah, so much more difficult in a different style, you know?
Yep, yep, I agree with that.
And then that
When did?
influenced
Oh,
what
I was gonna say, when did you start playing Kendama?
uh I started Christmas or December 2015.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I played my by myself for about a year and a half. And
Hmm.
um and then I started getting part of the community in 2016, 2017. And
Okay.
that's when I was really influenced by the new gen, Bryson, Dwesty, Liad.
Hmm.
Liad is always my favorite player. Um, Taps, juggles, late flips, just similar to you.
Yeah. Wow. Liel was. Oh, I still remember when I saw him, the Liel the first time. He was like kind of like young, like look like I don't know how old was he. Well, looks like 20, like 12. 11. They made like tapping. Like I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on with this dude?
When you saw him at KWC?
Yeah.
Eh,
And like my friend like told me there's one well like one guy from Israel, he's insane. Then I saw Instagram and I was like, oh my gosh, what the fuck?
Who was like the most impressive person to see in person?
In person?
Yeah, like you just blew you away. Like Bryce, you already kind of mentioned Bryson, Liad, who'd you mention? Oh, Takia, but like
Yeah.
the most impressive.
Oh, good question. I go with Keith Matsumura when
Okay.
I saw him the first time, 2013, 2011, 2012. I don't even remember when was it. But definitely he like taught me how to play the trick from the US. So I still
Okay.
remember. I was a kid. Damn. I had been playing Kendama for a while, but it's different, new trick. I don't know anything about that. So
Yeah, okay. So when you saw Keith and you saw the different style.
yeah. And I even like wrote Dama. Yeah. He was my superhero when I was a kid.
Really?
He's very like talkative, so kind.
Yeah. What tricks blew you away back then? 2013, 20 or 2012, 2013.
What trick? Are you asking like what trick was?
Like when Keith was teaching you the American style, like what
Oh,
yeah.
of flipping
Yeah.
and make playing with strings. I
Yeah.
don't even know how to call like when play kendama like this.
String flow.
String flow, yeah. When
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, looks like yo-yo and it looks cool. So I went to his place, then I asked with like Japanese accent English. Um, I was like, at the time I had no idea how to speak English, right? I was like, what? Amazing, amazing, like something like
Just
that.
simple words. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, then I just like I don't know for some reason I started introduce myself. Then nice, me, teach me, like something like that. Then he taught me how to play it. I still remember.
So were they maybe on the Kusa tour
Yep,
in 2012?
yep, it was.
Did they go to JKA or were they just over there exploring?
Uh, they came to JKA tournament.
Okay. Who won that tournament?
Then
Remember 2012?
good question. It was like oh, I don't even remember, but it was a Japanese dude like who played kendama for JK for a while.
Okay.
Or maybe guard. I don't remember.
Okay. Who were like the legends of Japan? Kind of like the Colin Sander of America that's like older and he was there first. Are there like older Japanese kind of legends that like people looked up to?
Hmm. Um, I feel obviously Yusuke Ito is gonna be one of the like like legend for
Yeah.
us because like along the time like I feel like he was the first person who played kendama for business.
Wait, Yuske?
Yusuke, yeah, Yusuke Ito, Ito, yeah.
Yusuke. I'm sure I've seen videos of him, but the name I don't know the name.
Yeah, he was I'm pretty much he was the first person who played kendama for the business to live, like for like making a money.
Was he performing?
Yeah, performing style. Before Zuma Danke.
Right. Yeah. Zumadanke is a lot of the first video people see.
Yeah,
They're very performative. People know
they are.
Zumadanke in Japan.
Yeah, like not many people though. in general, but yeah, people who play Kendama, they should be know.
So Yusuke, he made a business performing like
Yep,
Judo
yep.
on TV shows and just like a street performer kind of.
Like
Uh,
no strings. Like I saw
yeah,
you were talking about no string with Elliot, but yeah, Yusuke was like first player who played Kendama.
original Elliot.
I think so.
Who else was there?
Next is gonna be good question. Shigeki, Mr. Shigeki, he won like a JKA for like many times.
How do you spell it?
Shigeki should be Shigeki.
Shigeki. Okay, cool.
Then Akimoto-san,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they are legend for me. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, I appreciate doing this interview.
It's already 1 hour?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's quick when you're having fun.
It's so interesting. It's so funny though.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be translator. No, I just want to interview with
And then
you.
you're
Just
like,
like,
"Yeah,
yeah, just like you just asking, oh, would you mind to have an interview instead of someone? I was like, oh, sure, but I don't know what should I say.
and you said a lot.
Yeah, it was a good interview. I like it.
Yeah. I really want to interview as many Japanese
Oh,
players.
I really want you to do it. Yeah. Also
Um,
want to kill us what they are gonna talk, you know what I mean? The
yeah.
top player. You
Yeah.
should do with Gino someday.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get into a political debate.
Maybe, oh well, yeah, this weekend is, yeah, the next weekend he must be drunk. Then call you randomly. Oh,
Yeah.
so want to do interview?
Yeah. Let me tell you about this poli-sci paper I'm working on.
Like what's
Um,
class you're talking about? Like American law, political science?
yeah, well, I'll talk to you soon. The next time, we'll be in touch about interviewing,
Yeah,
translating for other players.
yeah.
And then are you going to be going to EKC?
Not sure, but I'm going to Sakura.
Sakura, Chicago?
Yeah, yeah, that's I'm talking with Gino.
Okay. I think I'll be there too. So I'll see you there.
Really? How about KWC?
I want to, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's got to be really quick, and it's going to be a long flight, but maybe just like 5 days or something. So like,
True. Then sometimes like Friday's so expensive.
yeah. So I gotta like figure it out, but
Yeah.
I'll definitely let you know.
Okay, yeah. It's gonna be one of the most like the best time for you. 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited. If I could go, it would be so exciting. I had flights in 2020 I bought flights for it, and then it got canceled.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to EKC. I'm doing a tour in Europe. So if I can do both, it would be the most incredible thing. But I don't know if I can do both. So we'll see.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, let's keep in touch about the interviews. I really appreciate you talking with me. It was really fun to talk.
Yeah, it was a fun.
Yeah. All right, man. All right. Thank you, dude. I'll see you later. Have a good night.
See ya.